Let's go and do it. And here we are. Here we are. Welcome to Food for Thought. It's the last edition of 2023, and we're really excited to have you all up here tonight with another great topic and a great guest. I'm really happy that she will be on. A few minutes later, she's still busy working, Lorrie MacGilvray from the United States. So she will be on in a minute. But first of all, let's see who we have belonging here to us tonight. Belonging to us for 1 hour and a little bit, maybe. So let's see. The first one came in already this morning and said hello. So it's Craig was already here at 9:07. So welcome. And then we have Eugene McGeever. We got Ian at home and Ian in front of the Christmas tree on Tenerife. So we're all set for Christmas. We got Chris Godfrey. We got Anne-Marie Elton. Hi, Anne-Marie. We got Derek Walker and so on and so forth, and Marie Alti. So we're all set, and here we have live on our screen as well, Chris and Tim, and of course Ian, baby. So how are you guys doing? How is it going? Have you survived our Christmas dinner?
Yes.
We did.
Pleasant. Very nice evening.
Fantastic. We
just
did
getting
enjoy that.
I can't read the things on there. It's too far away, so I'll get these. My eyesight's getting worse. Larry's on. Larry KP from Ipoh in Malaysia.
Ooh, welcome. Thanks for belonging to us for 1 hour and a bit. And we got some more people coming in right now. We got Tina Rigby showing up and David Butler. So sooner or later, everyone's going to join in and start with our topic, of course. Yes, tonight we thought we wanted to talk about belonging. I know our guest, Lorrie, she will be here in a moment. She loves talking about this topic. It's one of her favorite topics to talk about. So we will hear from her as well later on. But in the meantime, I would love to hear from you guys what you have to say. What is belonging for you? And we actually already in the chit chat before this show started, we were talking about belonging, and then Tim came up with a whole different version of it. So we didn't even think about that. So let us know in the chat, what do you think is belonging and what makes you feel that you belong? And why did you decide to belong here for 1 hour tonight here with us? So just let us know, and we are curious to read and put your comments up on screen as well. And in the meantime, I'm going to go around the table. Ian, how is it going? How are you enjoying your holiday?
I'm enjoying it very well. I've settled down now. Actually, the first week that we came here was really terrible. I'll be quite honest. I've never had heat and humidity like it. At one stage, it was just about packing a suitcase and saying, "I'm going home to the cold."
No way. No way.
Yeah, it's settled down now, and it's more the what we normally would expect. It is still a wee bit hot yet, but it's just being looking after yourself and just taking things slowly and enjoying yourself, relax and enjoying. Yeah.
And you got lovely Christmas decoration already set up there in the place where you're at. So that looks lovely.
Yeah, that's our girls. That's our team on in our resort. They all belong together. It is a great team. It's here. They've been together for many years. and it's always nice to come back and speak to them and then exchange
Yes.
their views and that. And you're made very, very welcome here. Yeah.
I can imagine that, especially in working in hotel or in the hotel industry, it is sort of like you belong together. You're spending a lot of time at work, and essentially that's what that you become more belonging and nearly family like, sort of. It's
Yeah, it's something we always say when we arrive here, especially when you come for quite an extended period. You become part of the family here.
yes,
Um, as I say, we know many of the management. We know many of the right down to the girls that come and look after your apartment and everything like that, and they
yeah,
all take time to spend the time with you just for 5 minutes and to welcome you. And this is what we like. This is what we like to come here for, like, because it's basically home from home for us.
yeah,
You know.
yes. So it gives you also a sense of feeling home, feeling secure, probably, and in the right environment, right?
Yes, exactly, exactly. You know when you arrive here that you'll be taken care of. Um, Immediately you walk in the door, there's always someone there to take care of me. I can use an instance, and as I say, it's part of the belonging to a group, a good group.
Hmm. Yes.
Uh, Barbara had an illness last year, and it came on quite sudden, and they were there. They came from all directions
Hmm.
to help her, and
Yeah.
it was really fantastic. The,
Yeah.
the the speed of the response
Yeah.
was really great.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier, it's all part of belonging to a good group, and you always come back to the good
Yeah.
group,
Yes.
and that
Exactly.
that helps you through your life. Um,
Hmm.
it's like, I mean, we leave here with now positive feelings when we go home. We've
Hmm.
out, met friends, we've enjoyed ourselves, had a
Yeah.
relaxing time,
Yeah.
recharged the batteries, as people say, and yes,
Yeah. So you are always supported there, and if help is needed, you got a full on support team who's taking care of you, right? And you're
oh
looking forward then when you get back home, already looking forward to the next holiday to come.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's let's get back home and then get the shuffles out and get the snow moving. Uh,
And get the garden ready, right?
oh, hey, come on, come on, slow down a
Look,
wee bit.
I'm just gonna put this comment up. I love this one. Denise Pearson. Hi, Denise. How are you? As long as I have Steve by my side, that's all the belongings I need. My best friend. Oh my God, that's such a beautiful love declaration, isn't it? So, Steve,
Yes.
you are really a lucky man. You
Oh,
are.
Steve's not watching. He's playing with his new toy.
Ah. Chris and Tim, how are you?
We are fine. Well, I'm fine. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But
How
we
do
don't have any Christmas decoration at all this year at the
not
moment.
yet?
I might start in 2 weeks maybe when the rain holidays ready
Finished.
is finished and
Hmm.
the place is all set.
We've still got buckets of paint and stuff hanging around.
Hmm. But then it's all gonna be fresh, and you can put up your nice
It'll be
crimbo.
finished on Friday. He's coming tomorrow to put on some cladding so that when Christina's got her wheelchair and she bangs the wall, the corners, it's not going to chip the stuff off and make a mark. So we put aluminium cladding and plexiglass where the chair will hit the wall. And he's painted the whole house. And what's he going to do again tomorrow?
Oh, right.
On Friday. Oh, he's going to finish a couple of nooks and crannies that he hasn't painted yet. And then on Friday night, we're going out for Freaky Friday, and I'm going to buy him a load of drinks.
And then the place is going to belong to you again, right?
Yes. In fact, he took a load of the, I'm a hoarder and I don't like throwing stuff away. Well, he came to me like a dad today and said, all these belongings that you have hanging around that you haven't looked at in a year, put them in this shopping trolley. And he brought a shopping trolley. And he sort of forced me to make decisions. What about this? Do you use this? I went, oh. And all the boxes he took, and I hoard empty boxes. I don't know why. Although I'm looking for one now, and I can't find one the right size because I've got to send something back. And so I had a couple of things out the side of the house that basically I'd never used. He just took them and threw them away. So in fact, the neighbor said, "Are you moving out?"
No.
So
I'm going to put up Tina's comment. Belonging is being part of a group where you feel accepted and share a common interest. Yes, exactly. That's one way to see it. Yeah, very good. Thank you.
I think that is a very important statement, especially work-wise. It's especially when you're sort of starting something new, you're maybe going into a new direction in your work. It's nice to get into a group. It can help you along through your working career.
Working, I don't understand that.
It's you go into group meetings, and that helps you develop your instincts into different aspects of what your work is actually all about. It's also looking to help to develop you more. It's taking you more issues outside probably your comfort zone that we speak about an awful lot. If I find if you're in meetings and you're working sort of talking about what goes on within your work, you can actually form a small group for social activities. In that group as well, where if you wish, you can actually go and socialize as well. So you put your work and your social side all together, which I think is very, very important in this day and age. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it, it all adds up to your life values.
Yes.
At the end of your life, all
what we were
times.
talking about a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that Tina mentions feeling accepted. Yes, I mean that's one very important aspect, and to feel accepted. I mean, sometimes you might be accepted, but you don't feel it. That's they're two different things. So to have that sense of being accepted and feeling accepted at the same time is also what maybe increases or decreases your sense of belonging. So let's see what everyone else is saying.
Anne-Marie had a good one about it. It's quite far back, actually.
Is it this one here? It is always important to belong in a family situation, workplace, or a group situation. The wonderful communities set up by YouTubers on and off the island. Yes, absolutely. And Maria, I can totally agree with you. It's beautiful to have this community here right now. And I'm really happy that you guys are sticking around and new people come on every month. Because we are only doing this as a monthly, so I'm very grateful for every one of you who's making time every first Wednesday of the month to be part of this and to make a choice to actually belong here. So many of you I've come to know in person, and we meet up when you are on the island. So so that even increases this sense of belonging. So that's an important comment you made there. Thank you, Anne-Marie.
I think I could also like to add to that. I mean, at the moment she has, I think there's 397 friends in that club. We'll call it a club. It's nice just to see a message coming up. Go and look at it, the message, and it's sometimes you miss someone that's in the habit of commenting, even on our shows and even on other shows. It gives you a sense of community. It gives you sort of an inspiration to go and ask and find out about these people.
Yes.
You know? Plus,
yes.
I mean, by doing that, it makes them feel part of our group as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's sort of like it breaks that barrier of shyness maybe, and you actually dare to ask. Yes, and here we are, complete. Hello and welcome, Lorrie MacGilvray. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you for making time for us again. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorrie. Thank you very much for joining.
How are you? She's still setting up.
Yep, that's it.
Let's see. I'm really happy that it's an honor to have you here on our last show of the year. Perfect. Thank you. With one of your favorite topics to talk about, belonging.
Hi. Hi, Julian.
Hey!
It's working. It's all working.
Yes,
Thank you.
it is working. We hear you well and we see you well.
Hi. Apologies for coming on a bit late.
Don't worry. Yeah? We understand. Christmas time is always crazy busy.
I had a business meeting run longer than expected. Sorry about that.
We're all set here already waiting for you. So how are you?
Fantastic. Doing fantastic. Yeah. The sun is shining here in Michigan. It's beautiful.
Good. And yes, thanks for making time. And I'm honored to have you here with talking about that topic that you and I have been talking about a lot. And I know you always love talking about belonging. So thanks for belonging to us for 1 hour.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on again. It's so fun.
Good. Yes, we were already going through a few comments here on in the chat, and let me just put, before we carry on with you, Lorrie, just put on a few of the other comments. Let's see. Denise saying, Julianne, you've always been there along with Tim and Christine during lockdown, always a calming experience. Oh, thank you, Denise. Thank you. So have you guys. I mean, this is the mutual thing. And we were talking about community and being part of this and sharing this sense of belonging here. Even if it's only a monthly meetup, this food for thought, we did in the beginning more often, but I'm looking forward to it every month. And I love seeing each and every one of you in the chat showing up. on time, and it's Craig even more on time, spot on, 9:07 this morning. Great. So let's see. David Butler says, belonging can come from an online community. Our Tenerife Friends Facebook group just hit 400 members today. Congratulations,
Wow.
David. Yes.
Well done.
Oh.
That group is really a fantastic group and a fantastic addition to all the YouTube community. Let's put it that way. And always a great fun meeting everyone in person.
Mia
So
started
yes,
it in July, I think, and he was expecting like 40 or 50 people, like the hardcore commenters on the chats, and then Anne-Marie and David got involved. They were founding members, and who else is a founding member?
Neil.
So quite a lot of the people we know decided that this is where they belong, is in a semi-private group, because they all have very similar experiences, I think. And coming to Tenerife is slightly different than living here. So I don't consider myself in the same group because I don't go out to eat, and I don't know if, where's the best thing to go and what to do on the days, because living here, it's totally different than coming to visit. But that Facebook group is, I think the last thing that happened was nothing to do with Tenerife, because it says Tenerife Friends, right? And I think that's most important. It's the friends that have met through the Tenerife community. Yeah. And I think it was Sarah Childs put the first Christmas tree up, and now everybody's showing their Christmas trees on there, Yes. So I think that's pretty cool. I mean, Facebook is for the old fogies, obviously, but no, I think it's quite good. And I think that if you feel like you belong to a group like that, it's great to be able to go and find a place where I always say, belonging, all you got to do is watch a few episodes of Cheers. We can finish it right now. I mean, you watch Cheers, and that's the epitome of belonging for me.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, Cheers. I don't know if you got it in Germany. It was Chicago basement bar. No, Ted Danson.
It was even called Cheers as well. It was.
In Germany?
Yes, okay. It was.
It was a
yes,
TV
Lorrie, I would love to hear from you about, how would you describe, or what makes you feel that you belong somewhere?
Oh, this is one of the things where Juliana and I have worked together for a couple of years now. We've worked on this together with a group that is international. And what I probably feel more like I belong in our international group than I do any other group here in America that I belong to. Just because everyone is from such a different perspective of thinking. I've recently become very involved with a group called Camp Cavell Conservancy, and recently became vice chairman of the board of directors. And because of this international perspective that I've had, I've lived in the UK, I've lived in Spain. My husband is from the UK. We have this international mastermind group that Juliana's part of, has been for a couple of years now. I just have this very different sense of feeling and perspective of the world. And as David was saying, Facebook group, you can feel you belong. This is it's a group just like what we're doing here as well. It's a group that gets together once a month, but yet we're so connected. We're so connected in our desire to each, in our own way, make the world a better place, to leave everyone we come in contact with feel better for having met us. Each one of us, that's kind of our driving force. And when we all come together, we're all masterminding and talking about how can we help make the world a better place for others. And that creates this sense of belonging, even though Julian's sitting in Tenerife and I'm sitting in America and Sachi is sitting in Sri Lanka and Carolina is in Germany and Juliana is German sitting in Spain and Carolina is Spanish sitting in Germany.
Yes.
It's this feeling of just connectedness in such a different way than anything else that you experience. So, and in a lot of the research we've done over the last years, we really have, just to simplify things for the thought process, and it's getting a little bit technical part of it, we really have 3 pieces to our lives, if you want to think about it. 3 places that we belong, if you want to just kind of put it into that context. There's some people that have 2 places because they work from home. There may be, they're a wife and mother who stays home. But let's just say right now, for simplicity, we have work in our life, we have community in our life, and we have home in our life. And within those 3 categories of our own lives, it's so blended anymore. Our lives are so blended in the crossover. We have all these little compartments within our work life. We have all these little compartments within our community life. We have all these little compartments within our home life. And one of the things that we were in search of was, how can we help someone understand this dissatisfaction they're feeling in their life and pinpoint where's this coming from? Because a lot of times we misidentify where it is because our lives are so blended. So we created between all of us, working on this project for several years, just dissecting and deep diving and going out and testing out in the communities in America, in Spain, in Germany, in Sri Lanka, and came back together. And we have this matrix that we put together to help figure out, where is my dissatisfaction that I don't feel like I belong? Because belonging is the heart. Belonging is the heart of everything that we have going on. So you can actually deep dive into, this is my best ideal of what I would feel belonging in this very compartmentalized piece of work, very compartmentalized piece of community that I'm doing. Community work, volunteer work, out in the choir, at church, at the pub, and in your home life, your home and family. And your ideal, and then you're honest with yourself, because it's just for you. You're honest. What is your reality in that space, in that small compartment? And we've helped people absolutely pinpoint where dissatisfaction is coming from, that they're not feeling this sense of belonging. And it's really very encompassing when you get into belonging and you deep dive into it. It's really, there's a huge complexity that goes on within each of us, because it's how you feel you belong in your workspace, it's how you feel you belong in your community, and it's how you feel you belong at home. And it's different elements in each of those 3 categories.
Yes. Let me just pick up this comment of, it's Craig, a feeling of being happy or comfortable as part of a particular group and having a good relationship with other members of the group because they welcome you and accept you. Yes, there are a few keywords you, Lorrie, mentioned. One of them being desire.
Yes.
And I would like to just share how I see the word
Yes.
belonging.
Yes.
To me, it's if you dissect the word, it's be and longing.
Absolutely.
And then to be is to exist.
Yep.
And also the longing is yearning. And what is yearning? So you have a desire for something. So you have a desire to be you and to be yourself and to be authentic and to be, as Craig is mentioning, accepted for who you are, what you are. Uh, and another word that yes, that came up was being yourself and being authentic and to be honest. That's the word you mentioned, Lorrie.
Yes.
This being honest with yourself,
No.
to be to show up in a very authentic way. And that's oftentimes the key struggle when we feel this dissatisfaction you are talking about, that that we don't feel accepted because we are too shy to show up in our authentic self, because we are afraid that we might not be accepted by others. And it's such an inherent need, a basic need that we have since our early days on this planet. We have that need to be part of something and to feel that sense of belonging. I mean, just tracing back to being a baby, we were put on this planet, and then we cannot exist without belonging to somewhere. We first belong to our family, to our parents, and then we trust that they take care of us, that they are doing their best possible to take care of us, taking care of our needs, of our basic needs, basically.
Absolutely.
And if that that sense is maybe broken and not met, then of course we struggle as well in later years to maybe find that sense of belonging elsewhere.
Yep.
So yeah,
and going to Maslow's basic hierarchy of needs, this is part of it.
Absolutely.
The other thing to add was, we've also talked in the perspective of belonging, defining it in the terms of be to grow and long sustainably. Belonging, to grow sustainably. We've also talked in that realm as we've been defining all of this as well.
Yes.
And we've looked at it in from the individual perspective. And we originally were looking at it is, how can we help corporations, with people feeling like they belong? Because you hear so many times people are so dissatisfied with their job. They're so dissatisfied. Why are they dissatisfied? What's the cause of that dissatisfaction? Well, that's where you get into that real deep detail of these little tiny compartments that make up the whole of work. We go to work, we do our job, we go home, we mingle with people a little bit, but there's so much more involved that causes these internal feelings of belonging.
Yeah.
And I remember having someone say to me one time, Lorrie, I was having issues at home, and I was certain it was my partner that was causing issues at home. I was certain of it, and went through this matrix. And what I realized was It was actually things going on at work, and I hadn't detached enough because life is so blended and flows
Mhm.
from community to work to family to. I didn't realize that it was actually the issue was at work, and when I was coming home, I hadn't detached enough yet. And then we would start a conversation, and I wasn't ready to engage properly, and it would just turn into a conflict.
Mhm.
Almost immediately when I'd come home, there would be this conflict happening. So that helped them really define there was something that was, it wasn't the relationship. It wasn't their home relationship issue that they thought it was.
Mhm.
They could clearly see it was something that was going on at work. And then they could delve into what was going on at work and work on that. And their belonging at home, it became where it should be because they could clearly define where this issue was coming because our lives are just so blended.
Yes. And even more so now, these last years where there's so much work from home going on.
Right.
Just,
Yes.
it just
Yes.
is one
Yes.
big mix of home life, private life, partnership, relationship, children,
Yes.
and work.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah. And
So for those who work from home, you've got to really get this clearly defined for yourself.
yes.
If you're going to be working from home and you've got a family and you've got maybe business partner and working, working from home together, you need to get just total compartmentalized clarity, absolute clarity.
I work from
In
home,
order.
and whenever there's a problem with relationships, it's always me.
Oh dear. Oh dear. We better get that matrix going.
Yeah.
I've seen every movie apart from the last one.
The Matrix, yes.
Did you
Do you know,
take
I've
the
never
blue
seen
pill?
that movie. I've never seen it yet.
Did you take the blue pill or the red pill?
You gotta binge watch that movie. I tell you, follow the rabbit hole. I'll tell you what, it'll blow your mind.
I'll have to watch it. I've never seen it.
Yes, definitely.
Julian, I'd like to pick up on a wee point that you said there. When you were born,
Mm-hmm.
you belong to your parents. You belong, it expands, you belong to a family within yourself. You move on slowly in your life and you come to your first stages at the school. So you maybe belong to a nursery class. So that sets the tone. You move from your nursery class into sort of a primary school. You go on to secondary school and you move into your university. It's all part of learning, the belonging to, you're learning as you go along in stages at a time. It helps you to develop those wee cells. It's up there. You start to develop them, you start to cultivate them, these wee brain cells. You go out, then you go out into your working life, as we have been talking about just now. You continue to develop yourself, but you develop yourself on a bigger scale, on a larger scale. You belong to the wee group. It sits round half a dozen people round in a desk. You may be new to that seat. So you have to sit there and take it in slowly. Then you're invited into a meeting. So you belong in that meeting. That encourages you right away. They've asked me to go into that meeting. Then you get friends within there. Then you develop a social life within your working life. And it expands. Keep expanding it. Keep looking to the positives of your wee meetings, your wee groups. All part of belonging together. And as I said earlier on, it all adds to your life values. you
Yes.
appreciate life more.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
need a bit of therapy now because I've never felt like I belonged anywhere. You know, from when
Yeah.
I was growing up as a child, I always felt I was better. You know, I always felt that, you know, this can't be it. Yeah. And so everybody was happy with the lot, and I was never happy with the lot. So
No,
therefore,
I wasn't
thought,
either.
I don't
I
belong. I
understand.
don't belong here. So I
Yeah.
strove for something else. But when I got to the something else, I didn't belong there either.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gone through life now being a catalyst, I think, being a referent, and belonging to something for me is giving up my individuality. I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that I like to create situations where everybody feels comfortable, and I know they all feel comfortable when I don't. So then I move on.
But what about
But
here?
yeah, it's a superpower because you can actually take all the best things of the community
Yeah.
to, into your life and take advantage of the benefits that belonging gives you,
Mm.
but also you don't need to take on the baggage of the belonging that's happening, you know. And so being, I think the word is aloof, right?
Mm-hmm.
So being aloof in a situation, or now I'm vocalizing it, it doesn't sound great.
No.
I see you from
I,
what I've learned. You're a creator.
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not aloof. You
No.
are a creator, and
Yes.
you see things with a very different perspective, and you create and grow, individuals around you and groups like what you've grown here. You are a creator. I don't see you as aloof at all.
No.
No, that's a
And
label. Get rid of
and
that
How much
label.
how much do I owe you?
and actually, Tim, you
Just invite me back every now and then.
yes, Tim. I mean, look. You said that you don't have that sense of belonging. I totally get what you're saying there. I feel very similar. I feel very similar. I always like to see it that way. I always said that I'm multiculti, and I belong.
Yes.
I belong to a lot of places,
Yes.
to a lot of people, and I love to share. But at the same time, I know that that you can only share your best if you actually belong to yourself.
Yep.
And that and talking again about energies, we've been talking about this for many food for thought episodes. It's you know that level of energy when you are with yourself and you are comfortable with yourself,
In your own skin.
then you have again that self acceptance, and you just belong to yourself. You connect with yourself to better connect with others again.
Yep.
And that's a great thing, and that's how I see your comment, Tim. It's sort of like you know intuitively when to step back and when you need yourself to recharge in order to then connect again with others. So
That's good.
it's a God-given.
This
Thank you.
topic is just so
Yeah.
complex.
It is.
When you were doing apology, I don't know if you're still doing it, but I know you were doing for a while. You would get in the car and you would go out and you would drive, and it would be you, or it would be you and Christine out driving and sharing, but you were by yourself. but you felt like you belonged and you were sharing these things with others, right?
I think when I'm performing, I think that's what it is. When I'm
Yes.
performing,
Sharing.
it's a performance, yeah.
Yeah.
And on this channel, I don't feel the need to perform, although sometimes I do because I'm the class clown as well.
Well,
But
you're creating. You're creating.
yeah, but I think I feel comfortable here because it's this, it's I'm not responsible for anything,
Yeah.
and apart from showing up and being funny.
Isn't that awesome? You can do that.
I know. Huh?
Oh,
But this has spun off from what you originally created, so you can do this.
I think the balcony banter thing, when Giuliani moved away, then we weren't eating together, so the balcony banter
Oh
lost
dear.
this little bit of thing. So I think
Oh, my.
what Ian and Giuliani have created now as the spin-off, this food for
Yes.
thought, I think it's really, really good. And I think that once a month is a perfect tact, a perfect tact. What I really like to see, the way this goes, is that more people will start to watch, and more people that are not necessarily in the Tenerife group, because I think a lot of people come on and say, "Oh, Tim and Giuliani, Tenerife," and then they come on here and we're not talking about Tenerife, so a few people switch off, which is okay. But what we need to do is attract somebody who's not in the Tenerife group. You know what I mean? But I'll say unfortunately, but if you look in the comments now, I think 99% of the people commenting now, I know. And what we really need to do for Food for Thought is to get the Food for Thought community going. So I have a challenge for anybody who's watching or watches on Catch. I would like you to press the share button and share it with all your Facebook friends, all your Twitter friends, all your Instagram friends, and tell them the experience you had tonight.
Yep.
Positive or negative. And just say, take a watch, have a look.
Yep. Yeah.
Go and see if you belong.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, it's
Anne-Marie, Sarah, Trisha, David, anyone who hasn't commented, do you have a sense of belonging when you come to the Food for Thought and to Balcony Banter? Is that a feeling? Is that a feeling you have when you're coming on, that there's this sort of community belonging here? I feel like I belong with everyone here. I can chat with them openly, and I just
what
have
I've
this.
Noticed is what I was just saying. What I've noticed is that the community that was grown up around Balcony Banter and my walks and Meetup Monday and Freaky Friday, and also all the other vloggers, starting with Lee, going over to Andrew, also Rick and Shelley. So all the vloggers on the island and all the vloggers that sort of became known on the island, but also do things in Bournemouth, like Col and Johnny Vlogger does all his stuff. So there's quite a group of people who we're connected to. And I notice that there are a lot of the same people in the chat. And sometimes I don't get chance, like now, for instance, we don't get chance to go and look at all the comments. And then when I do look at the comments, they understand that I don't have the chance. And so they talk amongst themselves. And I think that we have created and broken many friendships.
That's the wonderful thing about change. And it's always moving. It's always moving. So that's just perfect. I want to just put up one more comment Anne-Marie made. As I was part of an inclusion and diversity committee in work, I do understand that what inclusion meant to a lot of fellow employees, and realized how important it is to belong without discrimination. Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely good. Good keywords again. Diversity, yes. And and feeling
inclusion.
included, exactly, and not excluded. Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm muting it in case Christina coughs.
Okay.
I won't mute it.
I would like to pick up on one thing. I always feel when I hear about the topic belonging, what is sort of like the the opposite of it is, I personally feel it's fitting in. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but belonging is soul level, and it's you feel that that you can be your authentic self, and with fitting in, I feel like it's something forceful, and it's something that happens also quite a lot, that we try to fit in groups, especially Ian, you were mentioning growing up, and that sense of belonging while growing up, and forming your peer groups. That's how I felt in my early years. That if I look back at teenage time, I felt much more like I needed to fit in, and I didn't fit in. So I was sort of like a misfit in that sense, and that's totally fine. At that point, maybe I didn't see it that way, but now it's a godsend, like you were describing, Tim. It's nothing nothing bad to be
No.
someone who doesn't fit, so you can select where you belong.
Yeah. One of the things, Julian, that I learned about you from all the years that we've been so close together is when you were very young, you came over to America. And that was an absolute determined goal for you to do at, how old were you? 12 when you came over as a student?
The first time only for 2 weeks. I was 13, and then went back
Exchange student.
For a school year at the age of 16. Yes.
Right. So you were living a very different life from your very local
Yeah.
group of friends. So you were different. You were very different. At that age, you were thinking and behaving differently. And I was as well. And just as Tim is saying, he was as well. My grandfather was a businessman, and he lived with us. And this is where we go into, this is the deep, deep, deep stuff that you get into. It's the paradigms in our life. It's what we're made up of from the people that are around us. And it's what we've learned from different ones. My grandfather was a businessman, and I would sit on his bedside when he was living with us. And he would talk to me about business. So my head was, from the time I was just a youngster, I was always, everything was about business and learning more. And so I was in a very different space than any of the other kids. I wasn't interested in the stuff they were doing. I was selling seeds door to door and Christmas cards and, selling Kool-Aid out front.
Yes. The lemonade stand.
The lemonade stand. Yeah. I was like 7 years old doing that stuff. I wasn't like any of the other kids around. So yes.
No.
I think that probably is one of the connectors of all of us is we grew up with very different thinking somehow. It was just who we are and our paradigms that make up who we are.
Yeah. Yes.
So what are the? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
What's the likelihood that us three feel the same? What about Ian?
How about Ian?
you get on board with that?
Getting
Did you
bored.
find that you didn't actually belong where you were? Did you feel different, or is it that everybody feels like that, and then just people just don't say it?
Just they don't realize. Yeah.
No, I didn't get bored. I created where I am now because I had a void
Yep.
in my life.
Yep.
That was the reason, and that's the reason I've developed myself over the past couple of years in this.
But when you were a
It's-
baby, when you were not a baby, when you were a young boy or a young man, did you feel like you belonged in the community that you were in and the family you were in, or did you? Are you like us that we thought we were slightly different or special, I suppose?
No, not really in that sense, Tim, because I belong to a farming community. Now,
Right.
all the farms and all round about all had sons and daughters. We all went to the same school, so we all belonged together. The farmers helped each other at harvest times and at different times of the year. It just wasn't the farmers that went, it was the kids as well. They went as a group, they went as a family to help this family. Then they went as another to help another family. We were all part of that family farming group.
I think maybe the difference then is contentment. Were you content
Yes, we were.
being in that group, whereas I personally wasn't content with where I was?
You had the dissatisfaction. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy. I was very happy, and I was very happy what I did. I was brought up and learned to look after nature, look after
Mm-hmm.
what's happening out round about you. That's I've brought up to understand that. Okay, my later life, my parents said to me, the farming life is not for you. Things are changing, and they put me out to get a trade. Now, I picked up a trade which I liked, and I had a small community with apprentices. We grew larger into journeymen. Then we grew again into major companies. And we were all part of that group. And I think we said it earlier on, it's being accepted,
Mm-hmm.
being accepted into these groups that really makes your life. You become happy. You go home happy at night. You have a lot. You do your work and you have a laugh during the day. You switch off. You go home and you unwind.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not happy in your group, no, you become negative all the time, and the negativity builds up. You don't want to go into your work. You don't want to go and socialize. So being part of a group that you like, yes, definitely.
Yes. Absolutely.
Again, I'll say it's your life values at the end of your years.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was very happy with what I was doing, and I think what I'm hearing is we found other things more interesting that we were learning and growing from. We were growing and learning at a different place and space and than a lot of the kids that were around us, I think. And we were creatives. We were very creative about what we were thinking about in the world as a young kid. And I think that caused us then to seek other different. I mean, I hung out with adults more than I did kids.
Mm-hmm.
But because I was always learning and I was always asking these other bigger questions and talking business. I would always talk to like the little corner store owner. I didn't play with the kids. I talked to the owner about business. So I was happy doing what I was doing, but it wasn't fitting in with the kids kind of thing. And so I felt like I was different that way, but I was happy. I
Mm-hmm.
love doing what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the things what I hear from this whole belonging topic and Ian, that's why I feel you are also totally included in this. It's the beautiful fact that we all feel heard and we all feel seen. So it's even though Ian, you're describing a whole different upbringing, and you still probably have that sense of belonging here right now and feel comfortable in this new environment because you feel heard, and it's lovely hearing from you, and I'm sure our dear viewers can agree with that. There's one comment I wanted to put up, yeah, let's see. Maria Albonos, hola mi niña.
Yes. Yes.
I've been living in the UK for 21 years and never felt I belong in here. First time I went to Tenerife, I felt an instant connection with the place. I know is the place I want to be. Yes. Yeah. You're just one decision away. Well, anyway, it's places we feel that we belong, and I totally understand and can relate to what you're saying, Maria. If I had to say, someone tells me you have to go back and live in Germany, I would not feel that same sense of belonging as I have for this island.
No, they'd say you have to go back and live in Germany.
Oh my God! Even though I can relate to that sense of identity, and we've talked about this before. If say someone is saying something bad about say Germans or the country, you still feel that sense of identity coming out in you, this protector, right? How can you say that? Right? And that's also a part of belonging.
Yeah, but that's the part that I like, that you can pick and choose sometimes the bits you like. So I can be as British as you like at one point, but, you know, but I can be Bavarian at the next point and Spanish at the next point, and I can be even Scottish if I want to be. You know, you'll be having a sail, will you?
Yeah, well, multicultural as well.
Or Yorkshire. No, I think I can take the good and the bad. You know.
Yeah.
I don't like when people label me as you know, well, you're British. You know, for the simple reason is I've grown beyond now, and I don't say beyond. I've grown apart from that culture. So the culture that I left England in 1977 doesn't exist anymore. And even though I only went to Wales, it was a totally different culture. And then I left there in 89, and that doesn't exist anymore. So I think leaving the culture behind, I even spent the formative years of our daughter's life in America, didn't we? And but that all changed. You know, that was I think it's pre and post Bush or pre and post Trump. There's a lot of differences, pre and post COVID, obviously. So belonging to a community that no longer exists is also a way to. There are like-minded people that yearn for yesteryear, and as we get older, we all do that, and we also see yesteryear through rose-tinted glasses, and we forget the bad things. But I really believe that nature, to coin one of Ian's phrases, lets you die gracefully by saying, "This world ain't for me anymore." You know, so I think that we're getting to the stage now where we're happy with our lot. Our lot becomes smaller and smaller. Our belonging becomes smaller and smaller. The things that make us happy in belonging become smaller. We don't strive too much to change or to rattle the cage as we get older. And I think eventually we'll just sort of sit on the porch, drink the moonshine, and sail off into the sunset.
I would rather put it this way, that you're coming closer to yourself, and that's a very good thing.
Closer to yourself is exactly the same as closer to God.
Absolutely. Whatever you
Absolutely.
want to call it, the source,
Yeah,
the
it is,
universe,
it is.
God.
I've noticed it in people, and
Yeah.
it's noticing yourself and
Yeah.
appreciating yourself for who you are.
Yes.
And yeah, so you're right.
And that's the self with the big capital S, and not the ego
Exactly.
self.
But
Yes.
it's very important that not to conflate that with self-importance.
Yeah.
Knowing how insignificant you are is the secret to happiness.
Yep.
So
Oh, we've blown the secret of happiness now.
Yes.
let me
No.
see. I would
You
love
want the
to.
secret of happiness? It's only 3 easy payments.
I would love to go around our virtual table once again before we say goodbye. And yes,
Start with her.
no,
Ah, dear.
no.
Man.
I will start with Tim.
So what do you want to know? I've been talking too much. You want my thoughts for the year?
Absolutely not.
Yes, your thoughts for the year.
The final thoughts.
I have one question for you. Will
Yes,
you
ma'am.
still belong to Food for Thought in 2024?
As long as I can breathe and you're doing the show, I will be here.
That's a good answer. Thank you. Thank you. Chris, how about you?
You're not going to come anymore, are you? This is the last one for.
Well, no. I come. Of course, I come.
She goes where I push her.
But sometimes it's just people talking a lot. And I think I might have an idea what I could say now. And they've changed the subject.
Dear.
But that's totally okay. There are episodes, Chris, where you say a whole lot.
Yeah.
And then there are episodes where you are just taking it in.
Away with the fairies. That's what they call it in Scotland.
That's right.
And you are using one of your higher faculties all the time, your imagination, which is growing and growing and getting bigger and bigger. And that's a wonderful thing. Yeah. Thank you for coming on every time, Chris, and Tim as well, and for seeing you as well again in 2024.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I would love, yes, ma'am. I would love to continue with Ian, because I know he has something little prepared.
Thank you, Julianne. Thank you, everybody, for joining us in the second part of 2023. It has been really exciting. I do hope you've enjoyed it. I'll finish up with something that we spoke about a couple of shows ago. We spoke about the light in a single candle. One of our last shows, we spoke about lighting 4 candles. I came across a wee poem. It's simple. It's called 4 Candles. 4 candles slowly burned. The ambience was so soft, one could almost hear them talk. The first candle said, I am peace. But these days, nobody wants to keep me lit. Then peace's flame slowly diminished and went out completely. The second candle said, I am faith. But these days, I am no longer indispensable. Then faith's flame slowly diminished and went out completely. Sadly, the third candle spoke. I am love, and I haven't the strength to stay lit any longer. People put me aside and don't understand my importance. They even forget to love those who are nearest to them. And waiting no longer, love's flame slowly went out. Suddenly, a child entered the room and saw the three candles no longer burning. The child began to cry. Why are you not burning? You are supposed to stay lit until the end. Then the fourth candle spoke gently to the little boy. Don't be afraid, for I am hope. And while I still burn, we can relight the other candles. With shining eyes, the child took the candle of hope and lit the other three candles. Never let the flame of hope go out. With hope in your life, may peace, faith, and love shine bright always. I hope this poem means meaningful. Thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh, thank you, Ian.
That
Thank
was
you.
beautiful, Ian. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, absolutely. And Lorrie, I'm really, really pleased that you could make it. To our last episode this year, and I would like to share your last words as well with our
Thank you.
audience.
Thank you. There's two things that Julianne and I have spent a lot of time talking about over the years, and it's impact and belonging. And those are the two that I put together an awful lot when talking about things, impact and belonging. And we've talked all about belonging. So if I can leave you with, as Ian did, just a very short passage from Jane Goodall. You know who Jane Goodall is? She's one of my favorite people. You cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of a difference you want to make. Going into 2024, what is your impact and ripples on the world going to be? Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. Everyone is saying Feliz Navidad here in the chat as well. Thank you, Lorrie.
Thank you, Julianne.
Thank
you.
Yes.
Thank you, Tim and Chris. Thank you, Ian, for all having me.
Yes. And
You're
of
welcome.
course, Lorrie, to you, the same question. Will you be there in 2024 as well, if we invite you?
Yes, and yes.
Good.
Just give me a call. Just message me.
Good. Yes, absolutely. So,
and
absolutely.
I love this international community. This is where I belong.
Good. And we love having you with us.
The 3rd of January.
Say it again.
If you're planning to go live on the 3rd of January, that's the first Wednesday of January.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Julianne.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So Merry Christmas to every one of you. I'm sure you're going to have a wonderful time, no matter where you are in this world. Have a good time and get closer to yourself maybe throughout this Christmas period, because that's where you ultimately belong, to yourself, and then sharing that best of yourself with the rest of the world. Thank you, everyone, and thank you.
Cheers.
For
Cheers
a
to the new year.
time. Huh? Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to the new
everybody.
year.
Cheers.
Thank you. Oh, wonderful.